everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dooley Does Food. I'm so happy you all are here. I do apologize for the length of time between the first video and the second video, but as we all know, Gemini season in the month of June was real extra, a little heavy, wasn't in the mood, had to take pause and get my life together. But we're back now. Want to give you guys some fun cuisine from my hometown, giving y'all a little Detroit culture today. We're going to be making Coney Islands. You all are probably thinking, the hell is a Coney Island? No, I'm not talking about the place in New York City. I'm talking about the Coney Island restaurants in Detroit. Let's get into it. Philadelphia has the cheesesteak. New York City has chopped cheese, and Detroit has Coney Island. Coney Island is a type of restaurant where you can go, you can get breakfast, you can get lunch, you can get dinner, all for the low. Many of them have Greek-style cooking, but what they're known for all over the Detroit area are their Coney Island hot dogs and chili cheese fries. Nobody really knows who originated the recipe. Some say it was Lafayette, some say it was Olympia. Nobody knows, but this is where people go to get their late night fix, and that's what I'm going to be remaking for you all today. This recipe is enough food for you, your mama, your auntie, your cousin, your side nigga, her 5 kids. Be prepared to give some away, to freeze some, but this is legitimately a lot of chili, y'all. You're gonna need 2 to 2.5 pounds of beef, as well as a half pound of beef or chicken heart. I know that sounds weird, but I promise you that is the secret special ingredient for this. It gives it an extra little zip that brings all of the herbs and spices forward. Trust me, y'all, it's not as weird as what you think. Season your meat with a dash of salt, a dash of black pepper, and then we're gonna put it in our pot and brown it. I know y'all are thinking, not Jamel, where the hell is the rest of the spices? Work with me, y'all. We're gonna drop in a whole flavor bomb a little bit later. We don't wanna do too much quite yet. So a little salt, a little pepper, put it in a Dutch oven, put it in your skillet, whatever you're using, and brown it. I really encourage you all to aim for a medium, maybe a medium rare doneness. This is going to have to stew together and cook on low a little bit later. And I want to make sure that we don't overcook our beef, y'all. This is supposed to be flavorful. This is supposed to be fun. We don't need no dry edges, no dry meat in 2020. Next, we need to begin building our sauce. We're gonna start with a kind of faux, fake, kind of roux-like substance. That's the best equivalency I can give y'all. I add 6 tablespoons of butter and 6 tablespoons of flour into the drippings of our beef and just whisk away. As you can see, my mixture here is starting to seize up. That's because there's not enough liquid. So from here, what I begin to do is add in chicken stock. All in all, I added roughly 50 ounces of chicken stock across the whole experience. Slowly adding a few ounces at a time until I got to this consistency here. Now that our base is where we want it to be, we can begin to build our flavor. All right, y'all, this is the part y'all been waiting for. I told y'all to hold off on the salt and the pepper and all this stuff. Now is when we get to go in. First, you're gonna add in 6 to 10 ounces of crushed tomatoes. And then I also add in about 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Then you're going to add in all of your spices. Once you add all your spices to your pot, whisk them into the mixture until they're evenly distributed, and bring your mixture back to a boil. Looking for something a little stronger than a simmer, but we're not trying to make mashed potatoes. Now is also an excellent time for you to taste. This is your point of no return, so make sure your sauce tastes exactly how you want it to be before moving forward. As long as you're okay with the flavor of your sauce, go ahead and add your beef back into the mixture. Now is when we cook this low and slow. So remember, I said that this is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be flavorful. We really want to bring out the flavor in those spices, and we're going to do so by cooking it over low heat. Essentially what we're doing is we're drawing out the water, drawing out the moisture, and making this a little more thick. Remember, we're aiming for Megan Thee Stallion, not Megan Good. Keep an eye out for the consistency that you see here. Alright, so now we get to add the final touch to our Detroit style chili. If you recall, we started this project by mixing together ground beef with chicken hearts. Remember, they're still whole, so now we gotta break them down so we can get that extra zip that I was talking about in the beginning. So add your chili to a food processor or a blender. I would say use the mix button, maybe the puree button, just for a few seconds each. You'll see here that the consistency changed again, and you want it to look like this. This means everything is integrated, and notice if you taste it here, it's going to taste different than when you started. Set your chili aside, and while it cools, let's get our cheese sauce together. For this, you're going to need 2 cups of milk, or you can use heavy cream, 1 tablespoon of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, and then your cheese. I chose to use cheddar as well as American. The first step to building our bechamel, or our cheese sauce, is to scald the milk. So here I'm going to add the milk. The process of scalding something is to bring it to a temperature just below boiling. We do this here so that our cheese sauce is flavorful and smooth. I just happen to know, much like water, milk boils at around 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna add my milk in, I'm gonna set it to about medium heat, and I'm gonna use my thermometer to bring it to roughly 210 degrees. Set your milk aside and finally get started on your cheese sauce. First, add in your butter. Once it's nice and frothy like this, we know that we can move forward. Add in your flour and whisk it together until it becomes a golden-like paste. It should take maybe 3 or 4 minutes. We want this to look like our light-skinned friend looked like Michael Jackson, not our dark-skinned friend. As you can see here, my flour absorbed all the butter. It's looking a little dry. That's not what this is supposed to be. So I knew I need to add more liquid. So I threw in a little bit more butter, maybe about 1 to 2 tablespoons. As you can see, it worked. Now we're gonna cook this to our light-skinned Michael Jackson color. Keep whisking, you don't want it to burn. Next, let's add our scorched milk back to our bechamel and turn your stove down to a low simmer. This is where we want our bechamel to thicken. Keep an eye on it, make sure you whisk it. We do not want it to burn. Nobody wants burnt ass cheese. Next up, slowly add in your cheeses, handful by handful. Mix, 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 add a little more cheese, mix, 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 until you have it all in there. And before finishing, I decided to add in about 1/3 of a cup of chicken stock to help with the flavor, as well as the consistency of our bechamel. And then I added salt and pepper to taste. Now, I know our French viewers are giving me side eye. You're quote unquote never supposed to add a black seasoning to a white sauce, but it's 2020 and I'm doing what I want, so pow. Of course, it wouldn't be natural to have Coney Islands without chili cheese fries. So that's what we're gonna do next. Ahead of time, I cut up some potatoes and soak them in a light brine for about, let's say it was about an hour. Your brine should be no saltier than a regular Lay's potato chip. We just want to pull out some of the moisture from the potato so that they fry. We're actually going to be double frying our French fries today. So I set my grease to about 300 degrees, and then I drop my fries in here. I'm just going to cook them for about 3 to 5 minutes, just enough to get the rawness. This is essential to our double frying process. So once you see them turn a little bit white, within that 3 to 5 minutes, pull them out, put them on a paper towel, get all the grease out, and then you're gonna reset your oil. You'll need to bump the heat up to about, let's say 375 to 400. Keep in mind that whenever you add something into your grease, the temperature is gonna fall a bit. So keep that in mind as you're setting your grease. Cook them until they're a nice golden brown color. Drain the oil off a paper towel, and then add a little bit of salt and pepper. All right, hennies, it's time to play. We have all of the pieces of our meal. So first I'm gonna go ahead and put down my hot dogs. And I'm gonna go ahead and put on my chili here. Next up is our cheese sauce. Go ahead and put it on there. And then you add in your white onion. You always garnish your Coney Island with white onion. Add a little mustard on top to finish that off. And then why not? If you have some left over, sprinkle some cheese on it. Throw some cheese on that bit. And of course, before serving ourselves, we gotta get our fries. So we're gonna add our fries and do the exact same thing we did to our dogs. Chili, cheese sauce, white onion, cheese, and if you like, a little mustard. So, everything came out splendidly. Look. You get a little bite of onion, you get some cheese, you get some chili, you get some mustard. I'm so excited. This is so good. It tastes like home. Come on, Detroit. Come on. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Dooley Does Food. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. I got some really fun things in store for you all, but I want to hear you all signed off. What do you all want to watch? What kind of cuisine are you interested in? What do you want to learn? Make sure you put them comments down there. I'm going to give you all an opportunity to drive the content for the month of July, so I want to hear it. Once again, you can find me on my social media here. And I'm your host, duly noted, on the channel, Dooley Does Food. I'll see you all soon. Bye.